1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, yummy.
Are you ready?
Today I'd like to make onigiri, or a rice ball. It's a Japanese snack filled with some kind of fish. So the first thing I'm going to do is just make a template, something that you can do at home if you don't have the proper molds that you might find in a store. So I've just grabbed a 30 centimeter long ruler, and I've grabbed a sleeve that you would traditionally put your papers in. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it and I'm going to do the width of my steel ruler here, which is roughly approximately 1 3/4 of an inch wide. I'm just going to line it up along here. I'm going to cut it with an X-Acto knife, or you can use scissors or whatever you have available at home. I'm going to cut that, and then what I want to do is I want to make, I'll have 2 templates here for the top and bottom of my rice ball, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut the end off, because right now you can see here that it is stuck together. So the first thing I'm going to do is just going to cut this end. And then I want these to be exactly the same. So I'm just gonna mark my plastic here. I'm gonna mark them at 8 centimeters long, so I know where I'm going to do my fold. So 8 and 8 is 16. 8 again is 24. So there we have it. So the next thing what I'm going to do is on these little, you can see I've made these really small little nicks in the plastic. I'm just going to fold it there so it knows that that's the size we're going to aim for. Now on the last one, it's going to be slightly different. So we have here our one end. We're going to cut this just really close to the edge. You can keep a couple millimeters in, it's okay, it doesn't have to be a perfect triangle. But I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut this just a little bit more than halfway. You can see here. And then where I marked my other side, I'm going to do the same thing so that it can lock in together. Now I did this one on the top and this one on the bottom so that they can go ahead and then slide together to give me my triangle. And then I do have a lot of excess here, so you can just go ahead and cut that off, so you don't have so much extra. And there we have our first one, and then I want to make a second one for the bottom, or you can just do one, it doesn't matter. But I'm going to do a second one here. Already marked out my 8 centimeter make sure I mark it from the right side. There's 8, and my next 8, and the last one. So again, if I'm cutting halfway on this side, remember that when you go to cut the other end, that you cut from the opposite end. Then I don't need all this excess. And there we have our templates for our rice balls. So the next thing we're going to do is I just went to the local grocery store and Taste, and I picked up these wrappers for your rice balls. They're just the seaweed pieces. If you can't find this, you can just use any seaweed that you might be able to find, and we can wrap it up with that. But these have already been cut and prepared for us, so make it nice and easy. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pull out my piece of seaweed and I'm going to place the top part where it comes together, the top, and the bottom one like so. And you want to make sure that you are just a little bit from the top and bottom, but you have some space so that when you flip it over you can fit it together. Alright, so what I did next is I just cooked up some rice in my rice cooker, and I'm gonna add in just a little bit of mirin, just maybe about maximum half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon, and a little bit of rice wine vinegar. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of salt in here as well. And then just mix that up. So my rice is now ready to go inside. You can also add in here a little bit of seaweed powder if you have. And I'm gonna add in just a little bit of sesame oil. About a quarter teaspoon of that. And just mix that up again. Now my rice is ready, and I'm gonna prepare my filling. For the filling, I just went and grabbed a can of chunky tuna that is in some olive oil. Could be in brine or water or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just drain it off a bit, and then you're going to take it and put it into a bowl, and then you're going to have to add in some mayonnaise. So just do it as creamy as you like it. So I'm going to add in here about 3 or 4 tablespoons of mayonnaise. Mix it up and then taste it and see if I'm happy with it. In addition to adding the mayonnaise, I'm also going to season with a little bit of salt and pepper. And this is going to be based on your own preference and taste. And then just go ahead and use a fork and you can mix that all up. If you want yours a little drier, obviously you would add less mayonnaise. If you want it creamier, then you can add a little bit more. Alright, so now we're ready to put together our rice ball. So I'm just gonna grab my piece of seaweed here. I'm gonna take I've got a little bit of oil, olive oil. I'm just gonna rub it on the inside. Make sure you've cleaned them as well. Rub it on the inside. That's just gonna make it so it doesn't stick inside of the plastic on us. And then we're gonna take our rice, pop it down inside of our mold. And our mold's just our template to help us see where we're going and make sure they keep relatively similar in size. You want to keep it a little bit higher on the edges and low through the center so you can put your filling in there. Like so. Gonna do the same thing on the other side. Trying to keep them in line with each other as best we can. So when we go to flip it over, it lines up easily. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my tuna on the inside. I'm going to now just remove the outside probably it's easiest if you just unclip the ends and peel it back off and around. And then what we want to do is just grab this piece and lift it up over top of your rice ball. You're going to press down the edges here on the side. And then what I like to do is just take a piece of rice and put it in the corner of each one here. And then when I lift it up, it will want to stick a little bit easier to the seaweed. And there you have it, your rice ball. You can take as a snack, as your lunch, or however you like to have it.